Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my beautiful angels, and welcome to another day of Soul Healing Summit 3, where you get to find your healing modality. And today we have YAEL Emily Sharbani, who is a bio awakening coach, law of attraction, meditation, light body, cacao practitioner, EFT therapy coaching, Reiki Master Teacher, pre and post psychedelic integration therapy, shamanic healing. Shall I go more? And the list goes on. Emily's intention is to help you remember who you are as pure energy and light and connect with your true self. Welcome, beautiful angel. How are you today?
I am doing great. I am doing great. Yeah, I used to go by Emily, but no, I've returned to my original name of Yael, the name that I was born with, and which means God's strength in Hebrew. So I
Mm.
am reclaiming my birthright as Yael. And what I love is my initials, Yael Emily Sharbani, spell yes, and I'm saying
Mm.
yes to myself.
Beautiful. I love that. And the first thing I noticed, I'm like, you're in your habitat and it just like, it holds you up and all that you are so beautifully. Can you tell us a little bit about your habitat and what you have around and how is that important to the work that you do?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, before even starting an energy work, I've got goosebumps all over. So I'm just like so happy to be here. This is amazing. The angel bumps, the truth bumps, they're all the guides are with us, guys.
Yes, they are.
So anyway, before I even knew that doing energy work was my oh my God, my joy, my calling, my everything, I'm a singer. And so I was always involved in music. So as I started to do energy work, which started out with love attraction and things, I then, and especially getting into cacao ceremonies, started adding music to that. So my instruments, the crystal bowls, I pick up drums from everywhere I travel. I have a gong over here, and and then the chimes. The music, the vibration of the music just speaks to me so much. So I love using it in the energy play that I do, whether I'm doing meditation therapy or Reiki or doing a Reiki sound bath with cacao. It's just all it the music is so much a part. And then, of course, the crystals and my you can't see down here, but I've got my little mesa over here with all my beautiful things on it. It's the energy, the vibration that they emit and that they're infused with. And then I'm here in my home in my living space where I do all of the ceremonies, plant ceremonies, regular ceremonies, again, working in all the modalities. I do in this wonderful living room space, which is just so beautiful with three skylights above that constantly get the sun and the moon moving over them and just like cleansing out all the crystals in here. So
Okay, I'm
this is
moving
my
in.
sanctuary.
I'm moving in.
Exactly, exactly.
It's so important because I've been
The beauty is that all of the people that I work with, all of their energy and the clearing, all of that, that just gets that I get to live in that space, to live in that energy and that joy and that freedom that comes in. So it just, yeah, I've created a portal here. I'm just going to
mm,
say, me and the people that I've come to work with, we've created an incredible portal in this house, and I feel it, and I've seen it in sacred geometry all the time. It's amazing.
I can sense that. I personally have been on a traveling journey for over 12 months now, and it's not easy not having the habitat with all your toys and everything that you need.
Yes, yes.
And we actually met in Peru like several months ago.
We did, where I got my yes tattoo is
Oh,
at that
wow, that was the
time.
same time.
That was
Beautiful.
then, yeah,
I want to
yeah.
hear because you do a lot of shamanic and you host a lot of plant medicine, and that is something we haven't touched on our summit. Can you please share a little bit about plant medicine and who is it good for, and when is it good to proceed down that route?
Well, what I love doing is a lot of people have come to me through my law of attraction group because I teach Abraham Hicks. I work with Abraham Hicks Law of Attraction. And then when I see that they want to go deeper, that they want to break through that veil of the ego mind, I love to start people working with cacao. It's ceremonial grade cacao. I work only with Keats cacao, and it is, aside from being completely legal everywhere, I mean, it's basically it comes from a specific species of bean, the cacao tree, of the theobroma tree, and it just creates this incredible environment for going deeper, veiling the ego mind, opening up the heart center, opening up the pineal gland. And I'll start people off with a cacao ceremony. And then as they get that interest and they want to go a little deeper, then I'll talk with them about other medicines such as San Pedro or working with mushroom. I work only with plants in the space that it's intended. And then those when somebody is ready for that, the experiences that are created, the revelations, the connection with their subconscious, with their higher self is just incredible that happens. And I am so all about set and setting. So what we do, whether it's cacao or grandfather, the San Pedro Wachuma medicine, or anything else, is the set and setting. So the mindset, setting the intention. What are you wanting to release? More importantly, what are you wanting to bring in its place? Vitally important. That intention setting is a huge part of it. And then, of course, the setting space, having the music. I drop people in with a Reiki clearing and sound bath. So I'm using all the bowls to get the energy flowing through their body so that the medicine doesn't get stuck anywhere. So they're literally dropping in the first hour with the sound bath and with the Reiki clearing. And then they're off to having their own experience. If it's a cacao ceremony, I do a guided meditation with them based on the intentions that come in, and it's just channeled in the moment. I kind of never know what's going to come out, so I record them. But if it's a full day ceremony with another plant medicine, then it is all about just letting them have their experience, being there to support them with any of the modalities that I work with, and then very and those ceremonies are always overnight ceremonies, buy food and everything at night, and then we have integration with cacao the next day, and the integration is as just important as the intention setting. How are you gonna take these experiences that you had and incorporate them into your daily life, bridging that three-dimensional and the five-dimensional experience together, and that's how I work with plant medicine.
Beautiful. So, in other words, for anybody that is interested in it, it shouldn't be a time that somebody suggested it. They need to be called by the particular plant medicine, and that is the right time.
Suggested and called because when I work with anybody, whether it's just, without any medicine or whether it's cacao, I tap into their higher self. And so I'll offer a suggestion because they may not even know about it or what that's about. But I'll tap in and see if is their higher self wanting me to mention this to them, always with their permission. And then sometimes you see people are just like, "Oh my god," they get that sense and they get the goosebumps all over and just like, "Oh my god, yes, I need to do this." Or, they wanna step in gradually, "Let's try a little cacao, see how you feel with that. Does that resonate with you?" And I muscle test with them so that they know their body's telling them they want this. Their higher self is telling them they want this. And for those who don't know, muscle testing is about kinesiology, tapping into your body. Your body is all the answers, and letting your body tell you, getting out of your mind, what is for your highest good.
And what is for your highest good, it's also good for those around you and also good for the planet. Um,
Absolutely. As we do for one, as we do for ourselves, we do for all. As we do for ourselves and raise our own vibration, we're sending out that vibration for others to tune into.
I do want to ask a question as you work with people and you host retreats and you host different ceremonies. How important do you think is in this day and time to for everybody to open up to these possibilities, to even begin meditating versus going on the way we've been going on?
It's vital. It's part of the awakening, and this awakening is happening, whether you want to be a part of it or not, whether you're choosing to be on the leading edge or following, this awakening is happening. It's no joke. It's happening. And there's a better way of doing things rather than pushing and forcing and, telling yourself you're lazy and trying to worry about stuff to make things happen. We are learning a different way. We are learning to let go. We are learning and remembering, even more, remembering what incredible creators we are, manifestors we are, that we can create from a place of joy rather than a place of worry. We can create from a place of self love rather than a place of judgment and limiting beliefs. We are learning we can do more through positive emotions and feeling because our emotions are our vibrational set point. They are vibrations. Our thoughts are vibrations. And vibrations, thought matter, turned into form, turns into matter, turns into what we want to create, turns into what we want to manifest, turns into that joy, turns into that unity, turns into that connection. And most of all, coming from a place of self love, we are learning and remembering how to raise our vibration to bridge our three-dimensional selves and our five-dimensional selves. And it's not just us who are into energy work, it is everybody. We are human beings. We are actually, we are energetic beings having a physical experience. And we are now remembering how much fun this can be.
I still want to ask, so like all the things that you've acquired over the years, and for
Yeah.
somebody that is at the beginning of their journey, how do you pick your items or do they pick you? Because oftentimes, like when I go to a crystal shop or anything, like something just picks me and it just doesn't want to leave my hand, then I have to buy it. Like that's how it usually works.
100%, and I muscle test. It's definitely something I'm attracted to because if I'm supposed to have it, I'm gonna know. It's gonna call out to me. It's gonna be like, I can't go home without this thing. If there's some kind of doubt and it's something, oh, maybe I should have, I shouldn't. Honestly, I sit there and I'll hold it like, this is the snake, the puma, the condor, this little thing. I'll sit there, I'll hold it up to my heart and I'll muscle test. It's for my highest good and the good of all concerned that I take this home with me. And here you can see it's pushing my hand back. If it was a no, it would be, my finger would be a wet noodle. All these beautiful things I gotten through this medicine wheel for me as a shamanic medicine woman. And oh my God, this drum, I was not leaving the shop without this drum from Peru. Oh my
We're gonna
God.
have to hear that.
It is, I just love this thing. And it's just, honestly, it's dead right now because it is so freaking humid here in New York. So it's pretty dead right now, being where we are. But normally it is the most exquisite sound. Yeah, everything. The when I found the rattles, I just knew. And then, oh, you're gonna love this one. So for those who don't know, these are flow chimes, and and you move them around, and I move them around people in the room, and it's just you can
Wow.
hear an exquisite sound. And then I have Koshi bells with the earth elements and everything that are up over on that side. Too much to, and then like I said, all the drums from all of the travels. When somebody comes to me, like say to do a session, or they have something that they're wanting to clear, sometimes it's unspecified. I'll literally feel into it what modalities is going to work. Is it going to be talking with them? Maybe talking with them a little bit about law of attraction, helping them understand that they are pure energy, that their thoughts are energy, maybe helping them change some patterns of words that they use to speak with themselves. Or maybe it's diving right into a Reiki session with a sound bath, or, hey, do a little cacao or do a little microdose and then go into something, or working with EFT. I love working with EFT, which is tapping, which is working off of meridian points in the body. And what you're doing is when you do a tapping round, you're bringing up what you want to release and then replacing it with the new belief that you want to bring in. And when you're tapping on these meridian points, it is literally sending signals to the brain to change the synaptic passages that go to when you're triggered by something. And then meditation, I love working with the light body and meditation therapy, whether it's inner child work, soul retrieval, releasing tethers, releasing past, opening up to these upgrades and to these awakenings, releasing a past relationship, retrieving soul splinters, guided meditation and imagery is really such a huge tool because it's bringing in our guides to work with us. It's literally working on the five-dimensional plane of healing.
And as you say, right now it's 12:21, so it's another 3-3.
Perfect,
Beautiful
perfect.
confirmation. A question that I sense for the collective, because I see that you had embodied your priestess, and
Yeah.
for a lot of divine feminine, I feel like that's kind of like a big part of the ascension right now. It's the divine feminine to be awakened within all of us, not just females, within all of us, which is that
Mhm.
beingness, the receiver, the lover. For somebody who is on this path, still remembering on the soul level all the turmoil from past lives for being a priestess, what would you advise to them on how can they begin discovering and trusting their remembrance within themselves?
Absolutely. And this is something that's really coming up for everyone right now. And I could get into a whole nother discussion about the solar cycle we're in that started in 2018. And, basically, very quick in a nutshell, we're in a place in the Milky Way galaxy that we've never been in before. And this is according to NASA. And we've been exposed to cosmic energies that are designed for this awakening of the divine feminine. So during a solar minimum phase that we were in, the earth absorbed all of these cosmic energies, these awakening fields and vibrations, and then were sealed in by the sun's activity coming back in. This was the divine feminine awakening. If you remember back in the winter solstice in 2019, it was the age of Aquarius. We were coming into the divine feminine. It was the rise of the divine feminine. So the earth has absorbed all these energies, and now they're being released for us to tap into. So, what do I recommend to balance the masculine and feminine? And we have to remember not to beat up the masculine because the divine feminine had to give permission for the masculine to get out of balance. We're freaking strong and our divine feminine self is freaking strong and powerful. It had to give permission for it to get out of balance. They both had to ask it. There was a reason, there was a higher purpose. And now we're coming into a place where it's time to rebalance. So, how do we do that? First, we honor the masculine. We don't get upset with the masculine. It's been serving a purpose, whatever that is. But we've now come to the realization we want the balance. We don't want it to get askew again with the divine feminine being too high. We want it balanced. How do we do that right now? The most important thing is grounding, going out, putting your bare feet on the ground, putting your bare hands on the ground. What I love to do and I'll do this in a process with us later, is open up the crown chakra, bring in the energy from Pachapampa, from the divine masculine above, and then open up the root. Bring in the divine feminine from Mother Earth, from Gaia, from that divine feminine. Let them meet in the heart center. Let it explode out. That's how I help people balance. Because if you're concentrating too much on one or the other, it's just going to shift the balance and it won't be what we're meant to be. When you're the divine masculine, you mean the divine masculine and divine masculine, divine feminine can do wonderful things on their own. But when the divine masculine is supporting and holding up the divine feminine in their strengths, that is magic. Think about a pas de deux in a ballet. What's the crescendo? When he's sitting there holding her up, that's when the explosion comes. If you think of pairs figure skating, I love these analogies. It's why I love these all these years. When he's holding her up, that's where they get the most points. When he throws her, she goes higher and farther than any man could do on their own or anybody could do on her own. That's what gets the most accolades, the most moments, because it's the divine feminine and the divine masculine acting so beautifully in their energy. And I got goosebumps all over. The divine masculine in their strength, the divine feminine in their flourish, and being able to present. And when they see the beauty in each of those powers and how powerful each one is and how well they work together, that's the expansion of the universe. That's the
Mhm.
expansion of ourselves when we have that in our relationships and in ourselves. It's beautiful. When we see our strengths and celebrate them and work them together, it's incredible. And that's what we're all moving towards.
So coming to that oneness, to the unity, it's not, well, first step, we gotta go inwards and awaken that divine feminine and that divine masculine within
Yeah.
all of us. And
Hmm.
then marrying the two, that will create the oneness because it's that interdependence to help each other become all that we could be.
Absolutely. It's all about honoring the strengths and loving all aspects and then balancing them out. And we do that again, bringing in the divine feminine, so much going outside, so much grounding and connecting with Mother Earth. She is just releasing so much of that awakening, that divine feminine energy for us right now. All we have to do is ask and say, I'm open to receive. That's it. It's so simple. I am open to receiving this balance. And oh,
Not
it'll be
easy for the mind when we're taught to like do, accomplish. Just
we
keep
are
going.
learning, right? We're remembering how easy it is. And it's all about letting go. It's letting go of the worry, it's letting go of the how and getting into the feeling space. This is what I teach with my law of attraction group. When we're just focusing on what we want, so often we're focusing on the fact that we don't have it. We don't realize we're focusing on it, but we are. When we go from what do I want to why do I want it and how it's going to make me feel, it's the feeling space, it's the vibrational energy that's going to make it happen, not how, when, it's not here yet. But the feeling space of why do I want this? Oh, yes, because it's going to make me feel balanced. It's going to make me feel whole. I'm going to feel powerful inside. I'm going to feel free. I'm going to feel ease. I'm going to feel grace. When you get into that feeling space, you're sending out the vibration, and that vibration is going to come back. It's law, it's literally quantum physics.
How important is the relationship to self in this ascension process?
It's everything. It's everything. Self-love right now is everything. One of the beautiful messages I recently downloaded, and I'll give the short version, is we're so judgmental on ourselves. We have so many limiting beliefs. You know, when we look in the mirror, oh God, my hair is not quite right, or this is everything. When we can learn to recognize the judgment on ourselves, laugh at it, like, oh, there I go again. Not because we can go down a rabbit hole of judging ourselves for judging ourselves. No, recognize it, laugh at it. When you do that, each time you release that self judgment, you're bringing in the vibration of self love. That vibration of self love in ourselves shifts our body into an upgrade status where we can hold a higher vibration of energy because love, gratitude, joy are the highest vibrations in the universe. So, as we are releasing the judgment, bringing in the self love, we are tuning our bodies into a higher vibration of energy, to being able to hold a higher vibration of energy. What that next step does is it starts bringing in our soul splinters, pieces of us that through our life we're just like, I'm out of here when trauma hit.
Yeah.
When our bodies are tuned into our higher vibration, our soul splinters, our parts of ourself are like, oh, it's safe to come home now. It's safe to come back into the body. So it's like we are then a magnet calling in all of our energy. As we're doing this, we're calling it into the most finite point, our zero set point, our point of pure energy in the now, in that very piece, that very finite point of the now. So we're calling in all the soul splendors. All of our energy is coming back and coalescing in this place of self love. And it's from that moment in the now when you're calling all that energy back that you become fully connected to yourself as source energy, as God, as oneness, Hashem, Allah, however you want to refer to it, great spirit. When your all of your energy is called back and you're coalesced in that finite now moment, you are fully connected in source energy. And it's from that point that you can step through the eye of the needle and literally go anywhere you want. create anything you want. The next step from here, when you're in that bliss of being fully in yourself, in your connection to source, all you do is ask, okay, where's my bliss? And take that first step, not looking too far ahead. What's the first step to my bliss? What is going to make me so happy in the next moment? And then from that point, same thing. That's how you start creating. That's how you get into the how, but you don't have to do the how. It's where's my bliss? I love what Abraham Hicks says. When we're trying to decide whether to do something or not, it's like, does it feel right? Do it. Does it not feel right? Just means now's not the right time. Get rid of, oh, I'm procrastinating, or get rid of, oh, I'm lazy. No, it's your higher self's way of saying, now's, does it feel good? I'm going to do it. Does it not feel good? It just means now's not the right time.
Mhm.
Because if something feels good to you, if it's the right thing, wild horses are not going to keep you away from doing it. It's like medicine. When it's somebody is being called to do this energy play, and I like to say play instead of work, because it is, we're playing with this stuff. When somebody feels called to do play with medicine, wild horses can't keep them away. They're going to be there and they're going to have the experience they were meant to have.
I remember for years, people like, "Oh, you gotta do ayahuasca. Gotta do ayahuasca." I'm like, "I don't do drugs. I don't do any." It's like, "It's not drugs. It's medicine." I'm like, "No, I don't do any of that."
Yeah, same here.
And then fast forward years later, I just got this guidance. I woke up from a dream. She's like, "It's time for you to do ayahuasca." And I'm like, "I don't do
Yeah.
that stuff." She's like, "No, it's time to do it." And then I heard the message like 3 times within 48 hours. I remember my friend calls me and I'm like, "I'm gonna share with you the weirdest dream. This is what I got." And he's like, "Oh, great, because there's a shaman coming from Mexico next week. So let's do it."
It all falls into place.
Everything was aligned. Yes.
Perfect. It was the same thing for me when it was for the year before, I kept starting to hear about ayahuasca and then, the sting interviews and things like this. And I'm like, wait a second, because I've been doing energy work for 17 years. And by the time I started working with plant medicine, I'd already been doing this stuff for 12 years without medicine, without plant medicine. And so when I started hearing about ayahuasca and reading what Sting had wrote and everything like that, I'm like, wait a second, I'm already doing this with the meditation therapy I do and with the, law of attraction and the light body energy work that I do with people. And I'm like, this sounds really interesting because this is kind of like taking it to the next level of just like opening up the mind where they can absorb this process. And I just kept hearing about it. And then when I moved to New York, and someone very close to me had mentioned, "Hey, I've got this ceremony going on." I was just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then what really cinched it is my ex-husband. We were doing a law of attraction. We were having a law of attraction group, and I had this group going on for over 3 years. And all of a sudden, this guy walks in, big guy, you know, and comes in, and it's his turn to speak. And it's like, has anybody here worked with San Pedro or ayahuasca? And I just looked at then my husband at the time. I just looked at him like, okay, if this isn't a freaking sign that we're supposed to do this in 2 days, I don't know what is. Because in 3 years, nobody had ever mentioned plant medicine in my law of attraction group. And here
Mm.
this guy comes in, go talk about San Pedro and ayahuasca. And I'm just like,
So when it's time, we usually I normally when I get a sign, I'm like, I need to
yeah,
hear it from 3 different sources. They're not connected to each other. That's when I know it's a sign.
yeah. But and then again, I don't even have to go that far. I just muscle test because I trust my own
Mhm.
intuition. I trust my own higher self. And me, I'm a freaking Libra, so making decisions for me, I'm like constantly weighing out each side. Muscle testing has been my saving grace. Because now I just muscle test and I feel in my body, what's the right thing for me. And I tell you something, I am spot on with that stuff. Once you know how to feel that in your body, once you recognize it, oh, I never have to worry about another decision again in my life.
Hmm. I do want to ask because I'm sensing the question from the collective. You did mention that you did 12 years of healing work before you got into plant medicine.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I want to start doing healing work. Should I do mushrooms or something else?" And I'm like, my answer is usually like start doing the healing work through other modalities before you resort to plant medicine, because that could actually send you completely the
Exactly.
other way. What is your opinion on this?
Absolutely. 100%. It's why I start people out with cacao rather than dumping them right into, heavier medicine. Play with the energies. Get the first thing people need to do is get in touch with their intuitive selves. That's why I love talking about muscle testing. It's a person's link to channeling. When they start understanding how to feel things in their body, not in their mind, but feel things in their heart and their body. What I really start people off with, and I love it because I think it's the I Ching of law of attraction. And every time I've had connection, I channel source, God, source energy. I channel God consciousness. That's how they refer to it, God consciousness. And every time I've gone into that place of being connected to oneness, I've literally seen in sacred geometry how law of attraction works. My first thing I tell people is go get the book by Abraham Hicks, Ask and It Is Given. That book is the I Ching. The first half of it is all about law of attraction, how energy works, how vibrational energy works. And then the second half of the book is all a bunch of processes on how to raise your vibration. Start with that. Then my next step to tell people, go down the rabbit hole with that, play with that. Light body energy work was really good for me, but going in Reiki training, and I'm not talking about a little weekend course. I'm talking find somebody. I did a 5-month long course, becoming a Reiki Master Teacher and doing alchemical healing. Um, there was something about that first attunement in Reiki, and I was working with a phenomenal teacher. And like I said, this wasn't a weekend course. This wasn't a month course. This was a 5-month long course. Each month was one attunement. It wasn't like one, you acclimated each attunement. But I'll tell you something, after that first attunement, my channel, my muscle testing, oh my God, went to a whole different plane. It was a whole new plateau with it. It was really kind of crazy. It awoke something, and I've known so many people that have done Reiki training with the right teacher that have had that same experience. Like after their attunement, it woke everything up in their body to really tap into their higher self and their magic. And cacao ceremonies. Cacao is and again, this is ceremonial grade cacao, not something you can get at Whole Foods or in a health food store. I work only with Keith's ceremonial grade cacao. The primary component in cacao is theobromine. It's a vasodilator. It's pumping more blood to the heart. It's pumping more blood to the brain, to the pineal gland. It is opening up the pineal gland. So what you would do with like working with Joe Dispenza, where you're working hours and pumping up the blood, the cacao is doing that for you naturally. It's also a heart opener. It also releases serotonin in the body naturally, releases the Anandai chemical, releasing that bliss feeling. So that's where I would start. Law of attraction with Abraham Hicks, Ask and It Is Given. Reiki training, play with cacao. Come to a cacao ceremony. I do them online and in person. You don't have to live here in the area. Play with that. That's where I would start people.
Interesting you say about cacao, because I spent so much time in a cacao sanctuary taking care of the trees and loving on them. And
Oh my God.
until one time, because I would eat cacao all day, like I would just crack it and eat it straight up, like
Yeah.
fresh from the source.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Here.
yeah, and then the cacao gods came to me and started giving me all kinds of downloads and teaching me about the land and nature. And they're like, it doesn't matter where you go. If the first food in your belly, it's a seed of cacao in the morning, then we just continue like rewiring your brain and getting you ready for everything you channel. So
Absolutely.
ever since like my first food that goes in my belly, it's a cacao seed, like straight up a freeze dried cacao seed.
Girl, you're not kidding. I've got every morning I drink a daily dose, not a ceremonial dose, but a daily dose of Keys cacao every single morning. That's how I start my day. It's the first thing that goes in my belly. And it's magic. It really and it is, oh my God, it's, I mean, as you know, it's a superfood. Um, very, very quickly. They did a study in San Blas, and they found out that cacao, people who drank cacao on a daily basis, 8% the amount of heart disease, 16% the diabetes rate, 20% Alzheimer's rate, 16% cancer rate. All of those rates are reduced. I mean, to let each one of them 10 to 20% less for all of us for people who drink it. It's a superfood beyond superfood.
So you're saying
And
chocolate is actually good for us, for our soul.
well, not the mass-produced chocolate out there, but again, I'm talking about
Yeah.
ceremonial grade cacao
Mm.
because it is such a high content of theobromine. Again, pumping more blood to the heart, pumping more blood to the brain, opening up the mental acuity, opening up the heart space, and the wonderful natural byproduct of it is it's cleaning out your arteries. It's increasing the blood flow to the brain. Wonderful. I get to open up my spiritual abilities and my health abilities all through something that's really yummy when you prepare it right.
What a great way to bridge the two, the humanness and the
And
spirit.
start your day with some chocolate.
Oh, so beautiful. On that note, would you please guide our VIP members into a beautiful journey to activate that, maybe that divine priestess within all of us?
So we're going to do a little meditation process. I'm going to call in our guides and let them tell us where we want to go. But I can tell you it will be we will be balancing the masculine and feminine and opening up ourselves to receive some beautiful upgrades. I hope. I hope.
Thank you. That was so magical. I truly felt like it was a spa for my soul being in that environment. It's a place I haven't been yet.
Mm,
And just bathing in my own light and my own energy, get to taste the true essence of what's coming through and what I'm here to share. What a gift to remember. Hmm. So beautiful, so magical. And this work that is coming through us, it's so
mhm.
important to this time.
So important. And it's such a joy. It's such a joy.
Yeah.
Believe me, as I'm doing this with everyone, I get to receive it for myself. So I get to have they're leading me through the imagery. What comes next, I get to experience it as well. So I mean, it's just yeah. As we do for one, we do for all.
Hmm. From one divine feminine to another, I see you, I love you, and I so welcome and receive this gift. Thank you.
Oh, oh,
Mm. Oh, life is magical. And I was just talking to one of my soul sisters. Like, the whole point is to bring heaven on earth and learn how
absolutely.
the infinite soul that we have can reside in a small body and create the magic around us.
Absolutely. And we are limitless and constantly expanding, constantly expanding.
Mm. And just
Even
connecting
more.
to that beauty
Even
within.
more. Even more. There's always more.
I know, I just feel the ray of sunshine coming in through your skylines. I could just like see it. This has been such a gift and such an honor. What would be
Thank you.
one last thing that you would like to share for our divine feminine and our divine masculine out there?
It is okay for you to have and want. It is very okay. We are expansive beings. You can be, do, have anything you have a desire for. Know that. And you are loved. You are so loved.
Aho, sister. Aho, fellow priestess. Thank you for your gift, for your light, for being all that you are, and inspiring all of us not only to drink cacao, but test the depths of our own soul, test the depth of our own truth, and open
Absolutely.
up to that divinity that we are.
Exactly. And trusting your intuition. I mean, the most important thing is being able to connect to your intuition to your higher self, to your soul self, to your source. You have all the answers. You have all the answers within you. We all have all of the answers within us. It's just remembering them and awakening it. And I can't thank you enough for inviting me to come and play with you and everyone else in this realm. This has just been an absolute treasure and delight for me.
Such a pleasure. And for those of you who are listening, you're like, oh my goodness, I just feel so amazing and so jolly and so colorful in the presence of this beautiful priestess. Please find the link below and follow her on her journey. Allow her to guide you to the divinity, that priestess, the amazing deliciousness that you already are.
I want to add just one last thing. There's a reason why my company is called lawofallowing.com. It's because we are remembering how to allow in all of this. And we do that by letting go, by trusting and allowing in the divine timing and in our power to create. So, last final message, trust and allow, trust and allow, trust and allow.
And so it is. Let's bring it home. Beautiful. Trust and allow. Thank you, beautiful angel. It's been such a pleasure, such an honor. And for those VIP members that get to taste the medicine that you just shared with us today, oof, so yummy, so
Thank you.
delicious in so many ways. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you've been inspired, go and get the cacao or join this beautiful angel on a ceremony and get to taste for yourself or remember your divinity. Until the next time, thank you.